Hey guys, it's Tana with Soar, and I'm ready to kick off our Soaring Through the Holidays video series. So, I want you to be really prepared for all of the exercises that we're going to kind of go through through December in lieu of classes. So, the first thing you're going to need to be able to do is breathe. If you can't breathe, you can't do anything, right? So, you need to be breathing in a way that protects you and keeps you stable through all of these exercises. So let's talk about that for a minute. I want you to think about something that might be a holiday tradition in your house, as it was in mine when I was a kid, which was a can of biscuits. Those, the cans that you'd have to kind of unravel a little bit, and then you press it down with a spoon, and then they pop open. Okay, I want you to think of a can of those biscuits set up this direction. So the top of the can of the biscuits and the bottom is kind of like metal, and then the sides are cardboard. I want you to think of the top of the can of biscuits as your diaphragm, and the bottom is your pelvic floor, and everything around is all of this, okay? Except you have more mobility than a can of biscuits, but you're gonna get where I'm going with that in just a minute. So the first thing I want you to be able to do, or I want you to check, is I want you to take a nice big inhale. You might want to film yourself when you do this, or at least look in the mirror. But filming yourself, I find when I film these videos and I look back on them, I notice I do a lot of things that I tell people not to do. So you might want to do that. And I want you to take a nice big inhale. Yeah? What moved? Did your shoulders move up and down? Like that? Did your belly move in and out? Did your rib cage move? What moved? Maybe do it again and just see. And I want you to check that all day long. What tends to happen is this. And that is shallow breathing, y'all. You are shortening all of these muscles every time. These are secondary respiratory muscles. They're not supposed to be your primary movers here. They're to help when you are being chased by reindeer, okay? Not just sitting at work. So what happens is, because these are run away from something, muscles, they increase your adrenaline and cortisol levels. Now, you probably know that when you increase those stress hormones, that's what they are, they're stress hormones, that a couple of things happen. When your metabolism doesn't work as well, so you're not burning off what you eat as well as you should be, and also your heart rate might be slightly elevated, and just general anxiety is increased. We don't want that. We do not need that at this time of year, especially. Like, there's enough going on where you don't need your breathing to be stressing you out. So, did just your belly move? That's also actually shallow breathing, because your diaphragm isn't involved in either one of those like it should be. So what I want you to do is place your hands around your rib cage. And on an inhale, your ribs should expand. And exhale, everything comes together. Okay, so if I put my hands here, you might be able to see that a little better. Okay, so my ribs moved. Now, what you didn't see is that not only did my front ribs move, but my back ribs moved too. So put your thumbs back here and see, are your back ribs moving backwards? Everything should expand 360 around here, okay? Now the next thing, after you get that down, you can pause, you can come back later, whatever. But I want you to think about that your diaphragm and your pelvic floor, again, tops and bottom of your canister, right? They reflect each other. So your diaphragm descends on the inhale, ascends on the exhale, thus so does your pelvic floor. So when you inhale, slight downward relaxation in the pelvic floor. Exhale, relaxation upward. So this isn't a I'm pressing down into my pelvic floor. Obviously, I don't want you to do that. And it's not like a kegel, like you're just really pulling everything up either. It's gentle. It's a gentle movement. But here's the thing. If you can't get that relaxation, just normal relaxation down on the inhale, your exhale isn't moving your pelvic floor either, which takes us back to that canister, that biscuits. When you press on that can of biscuits, they pop somewhere, right? That's the same thing here. When you're controlling pressure, let's say you're doing some squats, something that we need to be doing every day. I mean, you're picking stuff up and down off the floor, right? So you don't want that pressure blowing down into the pelvic floor. If it's not getting a little bit down and a little bit up and it doesn't have this mobility, and your diaphragm isn't working, they're not working together, then boom, pelvic floor. The other place that the pressure will break out of your canister might be right down the center here when you start thinking about a diastasis or a diastasis recti, the separation of the abdominals, or a hernia. So that's why breathing is super important. So when you take an inhale, I want you to think, did that diaphragm get involved? Did the pelvic floor relax down a little bit? And the exhale, there should be a slight lift. On the inhale, everything expands together. So it's all happening at once. Like if you blow up a balloon, it all happens at once. On the exhale, I want the exhale starting down here. So everything expands, exhale, think of it like a tube of toothpaste coming up from the pelvic floor up. Okay, so that's some breathing tips that you can work on so you don't bust any biscuits out of your biscuit tin, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me a message. SOARTX.com is the website, and sign up for the newsletter, follow me on Facebook and Instagram to keep up with the whole series. See you, happy holidays!